Joe,
Yeah.
I've I've come to the realization that we don't have a name for this Jojolion podcast as I was hitting the start button. Because this is not going to be in the Roundabout cast. Every JoJo will be its own show.
Right.
Uh,
It has to be road related, correct?
Road to Morio?
No.
Why not?
Mario Radio.
Morio Cho Radio? Ooh, maybe.
Steel
Uh,
Ball Run.
Steel Ball. I mean, we're
Oh,
not reading that one, unfortunately.
but all caps.
Yes, I mean, I wouldn't do it any other way, but with the italicized steel,
Mm-hmm.
just like you like it. Um, uh, got anything else?
What about Rocky Road for rock people?
Uh, Road to Morio is cooler.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Or like Rokaka Kaka Gang.
No, it's Low Kaka Gang now.
No, I
I,
refuse.
I looked it up. It's still pronounced Rokaka, but they just spell it with an L because they're Japanese and L and R are the same.
Motherfucking load poneglyphs.
Load Poneglyphs.
Ah, laugh tail looking ass. All right.
I'll
Let's
always hate the Japanese.
Well, leave your comments. I mean, at this point where this video goes up, we will have decided on a name. But hey, we're a small channel. I can rebrand at any moment. If y'all have a
What?
if y'all have a good name suggestion for this JoJo series. Well, here's the thing. JoJo extends beyond Jojolion because we also have those videos where we talk about 7, 1, and 2, and soon 3 and 4 and 5. Well, we've already talked about 5. So it has to be
Oh, we did talk about 5.
something that captures all of the JoJos. And then
Oh,
we will just have a Morio division for part of it.
Joe Rhodes.
Anyways,
Joe Rhodes.
Jojolion chapter 90. Which one are we at?
94. Dangerous
94.
Pursuit Part 6.
We are one chapter away from beating Steel Ball Run in chapter count.
I thought it was 2.
Well, in chapter count, we've almost beat it. In page counts and volume count, we are almost we have almost surpassed Steel Ball Run. I think that's 2 chapters.
Okay.
Um, so
We start off with the toilet.
what's up?
We start off with the toilet.
Yes.
Well, we start off with this great shot of Paisley Park.
Yeah, this is such a cool man. Paisley Park looks dope.
I've loved Paisley Park since they've her conception.
Yeah.
I've loved the band, how simple it is, and how it's just something that's so millennial and so modern and just perfect for the setting, perfect for her. I think it's a great stand.
That's a good way to put it. This is a millennial ass stand. This stand is ruining small coffee shops or whatever.
It's ruining Google because it can just literally find anything for you
Uh,
and give it to your own.
so, Paisley Park is in the toilet. Tsurugi is not okay with this.
Yeah.
Jobin has this really good speech where he talks about how he just has to look at this like an accident like an obstacle in the way for him to be able to save the Higashikata family. When he puts it this way, he's such a charming and an understandable villain to me. I could see some people just be like, "No, you're a scumbag." I totally fall for Jobin's charms.
Same. I was thinking about this while I was driving back from school today. Like Jobin probably is a much more relatable villain than even like Valentine. And with
Yeah.
Valentine started to like say like he wasn't somewhat justified in what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
Like even you could even say that like he was 100% justified, and depending on how you want to look at things, and Johnny was the villain of like that whole scenario, just like of what the greater good is and everything. And so like the idea behind here of like I'm trying to protect my family. It's not fair that we should kill each other to keep ourselves going.
Yeah.
Like there has to be a way for us to survive without us destroying ourselves as well.
Combined with his thirst for success, which is also like wanting success is also inherently a relatable goal, right? So he takes all these inherently relatable goals and he takes them into a dark level like he learned from his mother, which is that's the part where he becomes an antagonist despite having such relatable goals. this chapter brings back a lot of good things. It brings back the walleyes. I forgot how creepy they look, dude.
Yeah.
It's been so long since we see. They've been mentioned, but we haven't seen them drawn out like this in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Kato is drawn here, so don't forget.
Yeah. At least Araki's not forgetting her.
Yeah.
So he's definitely saving her, like, or something.
Which is crazy. Like, she can't be a main villain, but can she? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, she's been in the back of our minds, and I could believe it. And, like, Araki, if he focuses in on her, he can definitely make us love her in 10 chapters, you know? Especially since Jobin will definitely also be a part of it, like a Diego.
Even the mother-child chapter was enough for me to, like, be 100 understand exactly, like, where this whole motivational thread comes from.
True. Just mother and child already made her a interesting character already. And just her introductory chapter was also really interesting. So she might not have had as much time as, say, like a Pucci or a Kira.
It feels like to me more like,
or a Diablo.
It goes back to the will where, like, Kato knows that she has to step out of the picture for things to work out now. She can't be the one involved because she would more likely bring things to life than Jobin would be able to. You know what I'm saying? Because Jobin already established himself. Kato is the black sheep now of this family, so she can't do anything.
Right.
So she has to be the mob boss behind everything.
And if Jobin takes over, she can be ushered back into the family because that is the one person she still has.
Right.
Speaking of, we were just talking about how good Jobin is with his motives. I feel like Jobin takes the relatability as a human of Kira, and then the relatability and motives of Pucci and Valentine, and like how they have good motives. But he normalizes them both into one character to where you can really relate to him, but more so than Kira, because at the end of the day, Kira is a creepy loner who has a big fetish for and all Jobin has a fetish for is his wife's nose.
And Valentine is just a scumbag who's in the country.
Valentine and Pucci do evil things without realizing they're evil for greater goods. But Jobin, his goals, like, a normal human doesn't have the grand scheme of creating a heaven where no one can suffer or creating a nation where it can be invincible. A normal person has the goals of reaching a personal dream or taking care of their family and reaching higher heights. You know, that is a normal person dream. And that's what Jobin has. He just has the evil twist on it. So I think Araki made a really good villain here.
And, like, the thing is, like, you have to take the concept, too, of, like, Jobin is dealing with something that no one else in the world is dealing with, which is my family literally turns to stone for the first child. Like, what?
We are literally cursed by Johnny Christ.
By Jesus Christ came down and cursed us.
Yeah, and it's like, more power. I get where you're coming from, man. Like, more power to you. Like, it's great.
It's once again, but like the big flaw, of course, with Jobin is that he's killing people.
I'd say that's a decent flaw. I also like how Jobin is into all these organized crimes, but he's not like a hardened criminal. He's in all these criminal activities, but when the pressure gets on, he has to lie to himself and be like, it's just an accident, it's just a coincidence, it's just another thing for me to overcome.
He seems to me like he's a person that is using the crime division, for lack of a better term, the crime kind of whatever, as a means to reach his end. And once he reaches the end, he knows how because his stand is fucking strong as fuck. Yeah. Like, from what we've seen this, like, arc, with the exception of the head doctor, we still don't understand what the fuck is going on. Really.
I think we do. We'll talk about it.
Do we?
But donut within a donut, but that other donut's a donut.
Yeah, but like the point being is Jobin knows that, like, if push comes to shove and he wants to pull out, he's gonna be able to pull out and no one's gonna stop him.
Yeah, like Kira, it's like, I don't like to fight, but when I do, I know I'll win. Yeah, he's got that confidence to him.
And he, like, once again, like, once he gets settled down, it's like, oh, I can save my family. I'm good, and now I can just go back to fucking making a franchise out of my plant business. He's not corrupted by the crime. He's just using the crime.
So he's corrupt. I mean, he's corrupted by his mom. That's what it comes down to. I like how he also brings up his summer vacation. Araki really doesn't forget this part. I love it. He's like, nothing we've done is the least bit wrong. Everything is sparkled with joy like a summer vacation. I really dig it. Tsurugi's not digging it so much. He's really not okay with the fact Yasuo is gonna die. Which, as we get there, man, this looks rough. What she's going through.
She's really trying to reach out and like grab or try to like jump to those different electrical things, but she can't. So like, this is like an actual struggle. I think this is Araki telling you like this isn't like a thing where like there's gonna be the JoJo moment where like here's the thing you forgot that's in the background. It's a no, I'm trying and it's not working.
I genuinely like that because when we saw the toilet, I automatically noticed all these JoJo like plot point locations where she could jump to, and Araki's quickly addressing it's like I put those there, but she's not reaching any of them.
Like
this is also really consistent with how we've seen Paisley Park, where when it's bound to something, if you hit that something, it's reflected. So it's a long range stand, but it has the limitations of a normal close range stand.
Yeah, pretty glaring weakness to it.
Yeah, because for example, when Paper Moon King and Paisley Park were both inside the phone, and Aisho steps on it in the Dubiwa arc, they both get like crushed.
Yeah.
So that's just I like the consistency there. But yeah, like with the water coming out of her and her skin cracking, this is horrific. Also, she's crying out for help, which is very Shigechi-like. She's hitting us with the "Help me, Josuke" later on.
Yeah.
I don't like this. This is bad vibes. I love how she reaches out for the camera, and her one friend, like someone who she befriended by going through combat with, Mitsuba, sees her, and then she walks into the room, and we get one of my favorite page turns in JoJo's.
Well, she goes in, and then Jobin explains what's happening.
Well, the page turn I like so much is as she walks in, it's Jobin, the toilet is in the side, Tsurugi's freaking the fuck out, he looks like a KKK member.
He does.
He does. I'm just calling it how I see it. Jobin is looking there menacing, and this whole time, Paisley Park is just splishing and splashing in the toilet, and you immediately get this sense where it's like, oh no, if Mitsuba wants to help Yasuo, she has to go through Jobin, who's right there. But worse off, even the worst case scenario is that Jobin talks her into it.
Yeah. Man, she's really splashing, by the way, because she gets water all over that bitch.
Yeah, that water comes back later, which I like the consistency there and the space that they're working in. Jobin talks her into it. Just shut the door, step out of the room. So wait, dear, is this because of the beetle thing? What's interesting about this? She says it out loud. I thought this was on purpose so Yasuo could hear it. And maybe it was. Not that it'll do much good because everyone knows about it now. So yeah, I mean, Yasuo does hear it. It's just like the thing in the beetle room. Yasuo-san's in our side. She's my friend. So I'm trying to find what exactly Jobin says to talk her into it.
I don't think it's anything Jobin says. I think she realizes that the head doctor's here.
Maybe, right? Because, okay, let's look at what Jobin says. That's enough of this conversation's over, and I'll be quiet. Got into the hall. We can't go back, and this has to stay secret from Dad.
Yeah. And then after that is the 2-panel, and she looks outside and sees him standing on the wall. with his Dio. Wait a second. His shoes. Dio. His Dio shoes are not present in this one panel. I don't think. I think they're just curved by like a drawing flare. They're not actually.
I got excited for a sec.
Dio number 6.
Yeah, baby. No, that would not excite me.
If actually Dio number 5 wouldn't be.
First part. Third. Dio 1, Dio 3, Diego Brando, Dio 6. Green Baby. I said Diego already. Yeah, alternate universe. And now the head doctor would be 7.
Okay. We did it. One part without Dio.
Giorno, 7.5.
7.5.
Okay. Diavolo is just Dio again, but with
Yeah.
whatever. So it's interesting how the head doctor just shows up. He teleports because Yasuo would not have missed him slowly walking up. He's right there.
Yeah.
He just showed up. So, all right, it's time that I address something on this podcast. I've made fun of a theory multiple times. And here in the Roundabout cast, we are willing to accept that we're wrong. So maybe, just maybe, the head doctor is an illusion.
Maybe Toro is doing office hours.
And he did indeed go to office hours. I hate to admit it, guys. I was wrong, potentially. But hey, that's pretty fucking stupid.
Oh, but I also don't think it's that. Because of one important thing.
Okay.
Jobin can't see him. Period.
Right. We see here, Jobin's looking out, and from what we see, he's not only seeing he's seeing the entire corner.
Yeah.
Like, he's seeing the entire side that the head doctor is on with the camera, and we get to see a little bit of it coming in, so he definitely should be standing there, but he's not. So wait, what makes you think he's not an illusion? I feel like that's more proof that he is an illusion. That's what kind of broke me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought the one you were talking about was that Toro. I don't think Toro is the head doctor as well. Like,
Okay.
that was the big theory people were saying.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but So Tsurugi the head doctor?
So what if the head doctor, part of the head doctor's stand, or his like actual stand, or like, is that because has Jobin seen the head doctor ever?
No. Well,
Because Mitsu's seen him in her practice.
We
when
need to
she
go
went
back to the chapter with the scalding oil. I think Jobin was there.
the scalding oil.
When Mitsuba's in the kitchen and she cuts off her own fingers and the oil shoots at her.
That's after that's the start of everything here, and they don't see him out there when they go out there and look.
Why do I feel like Jobin has said, "Isn't that head doctor?" No, that was Mitsuba who said that.
That's Mitsuba. And Mitsuba seen him in the hospital.
Yeah.
Yasuo saw him in the hospital. Josuke seen him in the hospital. Raya's seen him in the hospital. But those are the only 4 characters that we know have been in contact with him in some way, physically. For sure.
Mitsuba has never met Toru.
Right.
Rai has never met Tsurugi.
Yeah.
So there's these little gaps here and there.
But there's no point in Tsurugi making the head doctor appear.
Let's not forget that the day previous to this chapter, Josuke is vibing in that chair,
right?
As the goddamn head doctor is giving a real ass lecture to real ass people,
right?
So he's going to office hours as an illusion, and also doing Steve Jobs presentations as an illusion. Now, no, that can't be. So maybe the head doctor is real. But his stand is also the head doctor. So half the times we've seen the head doctor, it's the stand illusion. But the stand user.
But we don't know if that's actually the stand, though. That could actually be the stand. That would make sense. But then I feel like that's just Araki making more abilities for the stand for no reason other than for his dumb bullshit.
Well, I mean, if that's it's still been consistent. It's like my stand abilities that you think you see me, and if you see my back, misfortune hits you. The other
thing here is that Yasuo sees the front of the head doctor.
Yeah, that's nuts. I mean, let's not jump too far ahead. So,
yeah,
Yasuo's dying. Jobin can't see him, and we were just talking what made Mitsuba change, right? And I think you're right. It was seeing the head doctor. I just don't understand. Every time I catch a glimpse of him, nothing bad happens, and we get this idea that iPads don't work. Fuck you. Technical difficulties. Mitsuba, what are you looking at? She says, "I love you." Tsurugi, "I love you too. I won't let anything bad happen." And that's when she slams the lid in the coldest panel in all of JoJo's. What an excellent out of context JoJo panel. And this look at, we were talking about last chapter or 2 chapters ago. Not Oda. Araki almost never draws characters in this dark look that he does here when Yasuo's in despair.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing he did with Josuke, and we're like, oh, he doesn't do that very often, so that's just something to note. He used the same technique here. The head doctor turns around, and Yasuo straight up sees him. He's even facing her now. He just turns
He's even
around.
got Dio's elf shoes.
He's got Dio's elf shoes now. Dio 8. So, Yasuo falls here and starts breaking apart even more. Was this a misfortune?
I think so, because there's no way. I think it could be both because she's so weak at this point because of the stand.
Yeah, it could go either way. That's
both. But I think a misfortune might be better.
Yeah,
because it starts to disintegrate.
I'm really going to, in a place like this, Josuke help me. No, guys, Yasuo is like a top 3 JoJo character for me. I love her so much, and if she dies, I'm going to be crushed. And if she dies right now, that would be nuts.
Yeah, and also Jobin's fucking dead if she dies.
if she dies, Jobin, that's 2 of my favorite characters dead. Oh, Jesus Christ.
What if the whole plot twist of this is that Josuke ends up becoming the villain and kills everybody?
That would be dark as fuck. I don't know how I feel about that. That makes Johnny look like a chill ass dude. Johnny's a goddamn saint. Yeah, that's if Yasuo was to die here for realsies, which I mean, I've never seen a JoJo character look this dire and survive. Like,
yeah,
maybe when Hayato is literally blown up to pieces, and Josuke recovers him by acting fast enough. That's literally it. There's no healers in part 8 though. The only healer, and as close as we get, is Raitu himself. If he doesn't cut off the bandage, he can put himself back together. Mm-hmm. And
wait,
Joshu. Joshu can sticker man you.
Here's a dumb thought.
Tsurugi.
What if Tsurugi combines Murasaki and Yasuo?
Oh no. No. What does that even mean? What is this?
You're a first transvestite character in JoJo.
I know. Well, yeah, it's gonna happen. And they'll still be my waifu, I guess, because I like Norisuke enough. I'll roll with it. I'll put up with it. So there's the theory here that Tsurugi will use the fruit on Yasuo and save her. Actually, we do have a healing thing in this part, and it's the fruit.
Right.
And
that's what made me think about
it. There's no way Yasuo will die before we get the conclusion of her and Josuke. It's been too built up.
Yeah.
So she's gonna have to be revived by the fruit. There's no other way to spin this.
Mm-hmm. And then she gets 2 vaginas. No, that doesn't make sense.
No. Not quite. She gets 1 ball and 1 vagina.
Half of vagina.
Yeah.
She gets 1 fallopian tube and egg sac and half a uterus.
This is pleasant. So, if Tsurugi saves her,
well, that doesn't make sense either. Unless Jobin and Mitsuba both also get deadly injured by the head doctor, and then Norisuke and Jobin combine together, and then Mitsuba and Yasuo combine together. But then that's just a little bit too much.
That's crazy. You're doing crazy talk. Also, combining together, you need to be buried under the wall eyes.
You have to
with
eat
the fruits.
Yes.
Which I one of them could, I guess. That technically we can reproduce those conditions from one of them, but there's only 1 fruit being born right now, right? Or is there 2?
There's 2. There's multiple.
Huh. Well, hold up a minute. Under this whole time, I've been under the impression that there's only going to be 1 fruit because they're all racing for it. What if they just share the fruit? Like, just let Josuke get a fruit, dog. Just let him have it.
I think it might be I think
only one of them is ripe. That's what I had in mind.
Maybe. maybe they only have. I don't know. I feel like this is setting up for the combine at this point.
I think it's setting up for Tsurugi feeding the fruit to Yasuo. Well, this is particularly not. It's not. That would mean Tsurugi would have to sacrifice parts of himself, which Tsurugi looks just fine in roughly 3 hours from this moment.
Right.
That's where we're at in the timeline. In roughly 3 hours, Tsurugi's carrying the body bag of potentially Norisuke.
It's not Norisuke who does the transformations, so we can roll him out as like saving him. Like Norisuke doesn't take him to the cave and heal him because he's not turned to stone.
Right.
So he can't. It can't be that. So it means someone else takes him and heals him if that's the case.
I don't think it would be Mitsuba. That just doesn't track.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not Joe. I mean, maybe.
Maybe the other idea here is third hot take of the night. Mitsuba does get injured again, because she's the head doctor, so the stand is activating on her, right?
Yeah.
So she gets injured to the point where she's dying. Jobin realizes that the only way to save her is to have her take the Wakaka fruit with Yasuo. So he sacrifices himself for Tsurugi, then tells Tsurugi, you have to do this with Yasuo and Mitsuba combine them together.
Oh, we're looking at all this wrong.
Yeah.
If Jobin's able to talk them into it, they can, like, the fruit, the point of the fruit when it's grafted is that it can equivalently exchange with another person.
Right.
So all they have to do is feed it to Mitsuba, and then she can absorb all the good parts from Yasuo and just kill Yasuo.
Right. Yeah.
Ooh. So I mean that lines up, or actually, that's assuming Mitsuba gets hurt.
Because here's the other thing:
they can use Yasuo to heal Tsurugi as well, as long as she's not dead.
So, but also, why is Tsurugi the one that this 5-year-old child has to drag the 44-year-old dead body?
Tsurugi's 11.
11, sorry. The 11-year-old child has to drag the 44-year-old man's body. Alright, he's not 44, he's probably like 50. Body. Yeah. He has to drag that person out. Why isn't Jobin doing that? What is Jobin doing?
Yeah. Also, there's the idea that body is Yasuo's body.
Yeah, and but that doesn't make sense. Why would you do that?
I don't get why that would be the case, because I very distinctly remember, and I could be wrong, that the family members are like, "Oh, Tsurugi, you're taking out the trash." So he's already disguising it as trash. Why would he disguise it as Yasuo's body just for as Norisuke's body just to fool the viewer?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't think they say he's taking out the trash. I think they're just talking about.
Time to reread all 94 chapters of Jojolion. Oh, yeah. Shoot.
But that's kind of a striking thing I never thought about. I was like, why isn't Jobin the one? What is Jobin doing that Norisuke has to take care of this?
Or Tsurugi has to take care of it.
Tsurugi, yeah.
Well, it could also be the thing that Tsurugi can use Paper Moon King to dispose of Norisuke's body, and Jobin can't do that. I mean, well, yes, he could. They can work together.
He can also speed up Norisuke's body to the point where he catches on fire and burns away.
I mean, I don't think that works inside the house, but
what I'm saying is, like, you know, like he wouldn't. They don't need. It's just
no, you're right. Like if Jobin is available and is also okay with Norisuke being dead, Jobin should be the one dragging the body.
Mm-hmm.
That means either Jobin's not available or he's not okay with Norisuke being dead, and Tsurugi's hiding it from him, or Jobin's taken out for some reason.
Okay.
I have no idea which one it would be. I have no idea which way this would go. But on to the last.
Also, everyone in the family now knows about this fucking fruit.
Right.
And there's a hole in the wall.
Because
and they were.
Mitsuba flushes. She starts trying to flush the phone down the toilet completely. Mm-hmm. I think it's a way to put Yasuo out of her misery as like a last friendly, because she sees Yasuo now as a sign of bad luck, and she's like, all these bad things happening to this family, I'm gonna protect this family. The head doctor makes her kind of maybe paranoid at that thought. She starts trying to flush Yasuo down, but the water that dripped from the top hits her hand, two of her arrows mash together, and they shoot out. This is really cool, by the way, just the way that this works.
Mm-hmm.
They shoot directly into the wall, and the worst misfortune happens. The fruit is out for everyone to see. And then the worst misfortune happens to us as Jojolion goes on hiatus in February.
What if the whole time he's been trying just to cause accidents to happen to make the fruit reveal itself?
That's why he's been walking around.
Mm-hmm. That something would happen.
That would be a misfortune to them, and I think Mitsuba only recently figured out about the fruit.
Right.
And she only now realizes how important it is to Jobin, because Jobin's willing to kill Yasuo for it. So it must be... It becomes a bigger misfortune for her at this point. So that's why it reveals itself?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think that makes more sense than him just walking around the grounds and hoping he'll find it.
Mm-hmm. Because... I need my monologue to happen because this fruit's gone out. This stand's gone out of control.
So I mean, the only thing that got confusing with it is Mitsuba specifically saying, "When I look at his back, I get misfortune."
Right.
And I mean, so at the end of the day, the stand's main function is to cause like high level misfortune, so it's like heightened damage misfortune to happen to you, or you chop off your own fingers and like just bad stuff happens.
200% damage.
Yeah.
On everything now.
And then the only confusing part is this an illusion? I think that's the only thing we're missing. So I'm not like frustrated at it yet, but I'm also thinking we'll figure out very soon. A thing to consider is that Josuke was not able to stop the head doctor a day ago. What the fuck happened? He had this big dick plan. He was vibing. What happened?
Unless Josuke is the head doctor now. I don't know. Like, fuck. Because there's no way it's Tsurugi. Because that doesn't make sense. Because then things... Oh, my God.
Why would Tsurugi be doing shit at the hospital?
Why would Tsurugi make a illusion of the head doctor appear? Like, that doesn't make sense either.
Oh, you mean like this head doctor illusion is a Tsurugi illusion, but it's not part of the stand? It's Tsurugi fucking with everyone?
Yeah. But then again...
Well, no, misfortune totally just happened, though, so...
But, okay, so remember... For Jobin...
Oh, fuck. Wait. If the trigger for the head doctor is thinking about him too intently...
Yeah.
Tsurugi makes the head doctor appear and makes the misfortune hit his own mother because she starts thinking about him.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Ha. Oh no, there's too many layers. There's like...
But then why doesn't Jobin see him? Because that doesn't make sense because all of Tsurugi's powers...
No. That does make sense because Tsurugi's powers only happen to you...
If you touch his thing.
If you touch the origami, which Mitsuba might have been the only one who touched it. Could have been on the toilet seat or something.
Yasuo also saw it.
Fuck! What? Oh, shit! So... See, this stuff, it's like, it's really cool to theorize. It just worries me. It's like, what if Araki, as good as he's been, what if he's slipping? What if he doesn't know what he's doing? I'm scared.
Araki does the greatest, like, hat trick in the entire manga.
See, that's the thing. It feels like he's doing that, but I never fully trust him. I trust him to give me really cool battles and characters, but not necessarily... great plot twists all the time. Like he's totally done great plots, but he's also done weird plots.
I mean, Jolion's been great so far.
Yeah, but I guess I've just been waiting for him for the shoe to drop, for him to be like,
I need this arc to end.
But I love this arc, and it's been really good so far.
This has been our D4C arc for a while.
Yeah.
So we're on what, 9 now for Dangerous Pursuits?
Possibly.
So potentially my last thought here is that we come down to our 3-way standoff like you've been saying before, where it's Josuke versus Jobin versus the criminal organization, that being the head doctor.
Yeah.
But the only way I can see that happening is that Josuke and Jobin figure out a way around the head doctor stand. Meaning the head doctor has to flee with what he has, and now it's Jobin and Josuke chasing after him while fighting each other as they chase after and trying to avoid misfortune because they found him around.
Oh, here's a hot take then. If Josuke wasn't able to beat the head doctor last day, what if he's on his tail right now? Yeah, and he's about to show up at the scene.
That's also a good point.
So next chapter, we're definitely going back to Josuke, unfortunately. So Yasuo is going to be getting waterboarded for like 3 months. Goddamn.
Poor
Um,
girl.
and we're gonna get back to Josuke, and it might just end with him showing up the estate, which is enough to go into a final conflict if Kato is not gonna do crazy stuff.
But this has to all happen within 3 hours.
Wait, but in 3 hours, Tsurugi's fine, and Norisuke's dead, and Josuke lost still.
Josuke, Jobin, and Yasuo and Mitsuba are nowhere to be seen.
And the family's fine. The family's not even freaking out about the fruit anymore.
Yeah.
That means they settled it in a way that the family's happy. There's so much.
Or
much.
Tsurugi able to use his illusion to erase the family's mind and set them back at ease.
His illusion does everything now. That's the other thing. We don't know what Tsurugi's second power is because we know it exists.
Mm-hmm.
We know that a lady drowned her baby and Ojiro walked off a cliff.
Mm-hmm. Also, he faked some damage on his dad.
Yes. Well, that could also be a thing where, like, he makes the blood look like there's more blood coming out. That could potentially be Paper Moon King still doing weird shit.
Remember that one time when Tsurugi killed a man in cold blood with a bus?
That was the best. I think that was when I was like, oh my god, Jojolion's, like, above and beyond right now.
That was one of the craziest moments. This is like 90 chapters, 70 chapters
it's
ago.
It's the end
now,
of the Dubiwa arc. Me and Joe really like that finisher. It's so cool.
It's so brutal. You're like, oh, why is Jobin here? And then Jobin, like, just...
I'm like, wait, why are there 10 Jobins here? Wait, why did this 10-year-old just murder this rock man? Why am I so excited?
God, such a cold... God, I can't wait for Bradley to get to that arc and be like, Jesus Christ. That's like the coldest kill in all of JoJo's. Like, no stop. Unless Yasuo dies, then...
It's the coldest good guy kill, because at that time, Tsurugi's an ally.
Yeah.
Anyways, I need to dwell on all these things we brought up. Please leave your theories below in the comments, because, like, there's so many ways this can go. And I'm really thinking, like, as of this chapter, Jojolion might be my favorite part. I'm so invested, and I've just come to terms with it. But maybe Araki's slipping, and he's like, yeah, Tsurugi made that illusion to get Mitsuba to hurt herself, but it got Yasuo to hurt herself too because, and then there's just no answer. We're just like, oh. I want there to be answers, and I'm gonna put my trust in Araki's hand for once.
Well, we're gonna have like 8 chapters of One Piece to discuss, unless you want to make a separate time for us to discuss.
No, we're gonna do One Piece, and we're gonna do a middle point.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thank y'all for joining us to Road to Morio or whatever this is.
Yep.
Goodbye, everyone.